All right, let's talk about the ID.Buzz. This is electric, it's all electric, in fact, and it's supposed to be the modern interpretation of the original bus, isn't it? So we finally got pricing on it, and, it is quite high. A lot of people say this is too high. Well, number one is there really is no base model. You can see here, they're calling the cheapest one, they're still calling it a Pro S. And, that it does include destination as well for 61 grand. In fact, we'll kind of go over everything that it includes, because it includes pretty much all the stuff you're going to want. So, let's talk about that. And the other thing is just a, reminder here, this is a big vehicle. You know what I mean? Like, look at it in comparison to the ID.4. This is a proper van, by the way. You can sit adults in the third row. So I mean, look at this. You can see how long the wheelbase is. There's a ton of space in this thing. Now you might be saying, okay, you're selling me on it. Well, what's the range? Because if it's got good range too, I don't mind paying a little bit more. Well, guess what? I mean, the range is not that great. It's almost the same. Whether you go with the rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, it's almost the same. How about 230 miles? You might say that's not enough. Well, it's not enough if you plan on doing road trips in this thing, or if you live somewhere where you can't plug in and charge at night, So, either one, you're going to be stuck using the public DC chargers. And, that's going to get old fast for sure, because you're not going to even get 230 miles, especially in cooler temperatures. And you don't want to be using the entire battery's capacity anyways. It's not good for the battery, so plan on charging this thing up I'd say, every 150 to 180 miles. Plan on charging it up. So let's talk about the differences between the trims here. As we mentioned, the rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, there's not really any difference in range. But with the all-wheel drive, you are going to get about 50 more horsepower. And of course, the added traction of all-wheel drive. So, you might find that appealing. Now, the difference between the Pro S and the Pro S Plus, it's not a huge difference, because even the Pro S, the base entry-level trim, you get this 12.3 inch. This is the updated infotainment system from Volkswagen, so supposedly it works pretty good now. And you even get heated and ventilated front seats, again, on the $61,000 model. Now, if you want extra goodies, like this huge panoramic roof, and this is the one where you can change the transparency on it as well. If you want that and you want an upgraded stereo, you're going to have to go for the Pro S Plus models. And the only way you can get this two-tone paint, so if you want the two-tone look, which kind of does, you're buying, you're basically buying a new Volkswagen bus. You're probably going to want this look. So, yeah, in order to get the two-tone paint, you're going to have to, again, go for the Pro S Plus models. And you just have a much larger color palette to choose from as well, in addition. The Pro S, the base model, yes, the inside's well equipped, but you're very limited on colors, basically. Now, for the first edition, I would highly recommend you don't go for the first edition for several reasons. Number one is, you can see you're paying $2,000 more than a Pro S Plus. And the only thing you get are some unique wheels and then just a bunch of badges that say first edition. And, maybe you end up liking, the first edition wheels better. Maybe you do. But the other reason I would say not to go for it is for resale value, honestly. Especially on an electric vehicle. This tech is going to improve and evolve so fast. Think about it. 5 years from now, you're going to have an upgraded battery. It's going to last longer. It's probably going to be, LFP cells that are safer, last longer, and you're probably going to have more range, more power. Everything is just going to be so much better, than this model here, the 2025 model. So, having the first edition, everybody's going to know, it's the first one. And everyone's going to know that the first one has old tech. So I don't know why you'd want to call that out. You know what I mean? I don't know why you'd want to call that out. It's just kind of a cheesy thing too. Like usually too, when these companies have these first editions, they know, obviously they know the tech that's going to be coming in the future models. And they don't want people to feel like they got screwed. You know what I mean? Like, so imagine even if next year this thing gets a big upgrade, people are going to be like upset, right? But then they're like, well, hey, at least I got the first edition. You know what I mean?